Today we have a fascinating topic lined up. Robert Kiyosaki, 2008 crash made me rich, 2024 crash can make me more rich. Now, before you roll your eyes, stick around because Robert has some unconventional wisdom that might just change the way you look at the market. Let's dive in. Point number 1. Three Stooges of Finance. Picture this. We've just witnessed the longest bull run in history, an incredible 11-year marathon that started in 2011. Now, rewind to 2011, when Kiyosaki hit the jackpot during the MBS mortgage-backed securities and CDL crashes. He seized the opportunity, rolling in with $300 million to scoop up prime real estate across the Southwest. But here's the kicker. Is it really different this time around? So let's break it down. Robert is skeptical of the notion that this time it's different. He questions the Federal Reserve's magic power to print oil, gas, or even food. It's like asking if your printer at home can magically produce your favorite snacks. It just doesn't add up. And he's not shy about calling out what he, humorously, labels as the Three Stooges of Finance: Yellen, Biden, and Powell. Now, you might be wondering, why should we trust these guys to navigate us through the financial landscape? Did you know that Janet Yellen, before her role as the U.S. Treasury Secretary, was the chair of the Federal Reserve? Now, Powell is steering the Fed, and Biden is at the helm of the country. It's like having three captains on a ship, each with their own compass. So when Robert questions them, it's not just about poking fun, it's about highlighting the responsibility they bear in shaping the nation's financial course. Going back to the Federal Reserve, did you know that the Federal Reserve can't print essential commodities like oil and food? It's like having a printing press for money but being unable to create the things we truly need. So when Robert questions blindly following the Fed's lead, he's not just throwing shade. He's pointing out a real concern about the limitations of financial policies in the real world. Now, let me drop a quote from the legendary Warren Buffett. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Think about it. Blindly following without understanding the why can lead to some risky financial moves. Robert is urging us to question, learn, and not just go with the flow. Wise words, right? And before you dismiss this skepticism, let me hit you with a real-life example. Think about the story of Oprah Winfrey, who went from a tough childhood to becoming one of the most successful and influential figures in the world. It wasn't about blindly following the status quo, it was about questioning, learning, and making unconventional choices. Robert's philosophy echoes this. Don't be afraid to challenge the norm because that's often where the real opportunities lie. Now, let that sink in for a moment. The market, the Fed, and the so-called stooges, they're all part of this complex financial dance. So the next time someone tells you this time it's different, take a pause, question, and consider the bigger picture. Because in the world of money, understanding is your best friend. What's your take on Robert's skepticism? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're finding this insightful, smash that like button. And going back, point number 2, history, soft landings, and investing differently. Now, let's step into the pages of economic history with Robert Kiyosaki. He's not just a financial guru, he's a seasoned observer of economic trends. Imagine this. Back in 1974, after returning from Vietnam, Robert witnessed the birth of 401ks and IRAs. It was like the financial landscape was being reshaped right before his eyes. But here's the twist. Instead of providing a smooth ride, these financial instruments funneled the baby boomer generation into the stock market without much financial know-how. Here's a jaw-dropper for you. Did you know that the birth of 401ks in 1974 coincided with a surge in school teachers becoming financial planners? It was a leap into the unknown for many, and Robert saw this unfold with a mix of awe and concern. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves in a situation where a whole generation is pinning their hopes on 401ks while Social Security is hanging by a thread. It's not a coincidence, according to Robert. It's a carefully orchestrated financial play. Think about Elon Musk. From facing bankruptcy and sleeping on the factory floor to becoming one of the wealthiest individuals globally, Musk didn't follow the traditional narrative, he disrupted it. Similarly, Robert is urging us to break free from the "do as the Fed tells you" mantra and challenge the conventional wisdom of long-term, well-diversified portfolios. It's about rewriting your own financial story, just like Musk did. To stir the financial pot, here's a quote from George Soros. "It's not whether you're right or wrong that's important, but how much money you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong." Now, consider this in the context of Robert's strategy. By owning 13,000 apartment houses, he's not just avoiding losses, he's thriving every time the Fed drops interest rates. It's a bold move that aligns with Soros' wisdom. So as we reflect on history and real-life success stories, consider this. While everyone else is following the "don't fight the Fed" mantra, Robert is standing tall as a testament to thinking differently. It's not just about owning 13,000 apartment houses, it's about strategically positioning yourself to thrive in the ever-changing financial landscape. Point number 3. Debt, taxes, and the everything bubble. Alright, buckle up, Money Masters, because we're about to unravel Robert Kiyosaki's secret recipe for financial success, and it involves a key ingredient: debt. Now, hold on, I know what you're thinking. Debt? Isn't that something you're supposed to avoid? Well, Robert thinks differently. While some financial gurus swear by living debt-free, Robert strategically uses debt like a financial ninja. Here's a mind-blowing fact for you. Did you know that the average American household carries over $140,000 in debt? It's a staggering number, right? But what if, like Robert, you could turn that debt into a powerful tool for wealth creation? With his 13,000 properties, every time the Fed drops interest rates, Robert's not just avoiding losses, he's turning that debt into tax-free money. It's like a magic trick that transforms financial obstacles into opportunities. Let's dive into a real rags-to-riches story to illustrate this point. Think about J.K. Rowling, who went from living on welfare to becoming one of the wealthiest authors in the world. Rowling didn't shy away from challenges. She used them as stepping stones. Similarly, Robert's approach to debt is a strategic move. It's not about drowning in it, but using it wisely to fuel your financial journey. To emphasize, here's a quote from the legendary investor Benjamin Franklin. "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." Now, apply this wisdom to Robert's strategy. By leveraging debt intelligently, he's investing not just in properties, but also in knowledge. The knowledge of how to navigate the financial terrain effectively. And that's not all. Did you catch the part about Robert owning oil wells? That's like having a direct stake in the lifeblood of civilization. It's not just about investing in oil stocks, it's about having a piece of the real deal, the oil in the ground. Now, as we wrap up, consider this. The current economic bubble isn't just about stocks and bonds, it's the everything bubble. But instead of fearing it, Robert sees it as a playground for opportunities. It's a reminder to think outside the box, challenge the norms, and remember that your ideas are your biggest assets. So, Money Masters, what's your take on Robert's unconventional approach to debt and seizing opportunities in the everything bubble? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're finding this journey through financial wisdom enlightening, hit that like button. Stay tuned for our next deep dive into the money matters that make your wallet go ka-ching. Until then, keep hustling, keep investing, and we'll catch you in the next episode. This is Money Masters signing off, where your financial success is the ultimate trend.